Alright, so first day of free agency for the Panthers for the entire NHL is done in the bag. Couple of things I want to talk about. One thing I want to say is at the end of this video, I had put out the call on Twitter for people to give me their view on the draft, and so there's about 2 minutes at the end of this video where I show what everybody said on Twitter, and a couple people left some videos, and that's all I'm going to say about that. As far as free agency concerned, we'll talk about Gudas in a second. A couple of people, Weinberg from Columbus. I don't know the names. I didn't listen to the names, guys. And some guy that sounds like Jason Voorhees from Tampa. I remembered his name 3 times, and by the time I came in here, I forgot the name. So it just, whatever the hell his name is, it starts with a V. His first name is Carter. I know that. Both young players. It looks like we're getting rid of the old model of getting in expensive, old, used-up veterans to hope to change the culture of the team, as far as wingers anyway. And instead, we're going with younger guys that we're hoping for. I know, there's a little bit of talk about the guy from Tampa Bay might be like a Marchessault type of player, if he could develop into that. They're both young guys. They both got some upside. Don't really know much. They're both centers. I don't know really much where they're going to slot into the lineup. Obviously, there's a lot still to go on free agency. Obviously, Walmart is gone. We don't know about Holla. I haven't heard anything. It doesn't sound like we're going to bring him back, which I thought that made sense to keep him, especially since we got rid of Trocheck. I would like to see Holla back, but from these couple of signings, it don't look like either one of those guys are coming back. Uyghur is the most important piece at this point. So let's talk about that, and then, like I said, we're going to talk about Gudas. All right. We got to re-sign Uyghur. There's a rumor, or not a rumor, but it's basically being said on Twitter right now that it looks like Dadonov is leaning towards staying here. That's good news for Dadonov, not so good news for Mike Hoffman. Between the two of them, obviously, I know we can't keep both. I would have preferred Hoffman, but not by much. Obviously, Dadonov is the better overall player, but Hoffman, without Hoffman on the power play, I've seen a couple people talk about, that might be Owen Tippett, but that's a big gamble, all right, to go from Hoffman to Tippett, and Tippett hasn't even been able to make the team, so I have to wait and see that. All right, Radko Gudas. Radko Gudas is with the Florida Panthers. Okay, all right. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a shit show in terms of reaction. So I'm going to compartmentalize this, okay? Right now, I'm going to take the dirty play, and we're just going to put it over here in this box. We will open up the box. But in terms of hockey, in terms of how it makes us better, and, how many times have we all bitched and complained about the opposing team going and taking our goalie's head off, and then nobody does anything about it? And the only guy that really remotely does anything about it is gone, and that's Josh Brown. And really all he did was become the punching bag. So we had to have somebody in there. I hope he's in the third pair. He's a solid defenseman. Is he going to be a guy that you really want on your second pairing? For me, no. But that brings us to Keith Yandle. And it's obvious that, we've tried to move him. I'm sure we've pretty much called every team in the NHL, the KHL, the IHL, every team on every planet in the galaxy saying, please take this guy, and just it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, not going to pay a guy that much money to ride the bench. So, if we keep Yandle and Gudas is on the team, oh boy, do I not want to see a third pair of Yandle and Gudas. But I don't know, man. I don't know how that's going to work out. With Strawman, if we can't move him, I say we just got to buy him out. Because you want to make room for Keeper and Stillman, and we got another guy in, I forget the guy's name, but his nickname's basically going to be Nut. He looks like he's a guy that, again, is going to be one of those bottom pair, you know, maybe make the team, maybe not make the team. We're not going after any real known names, with the exception of obviously Hornquist with the Matheson trade and Gudas. Right now, the rest of the guys, it looks like we're going for are, you know, we're rolling the dice on some cheap, short contracts and see if those guys are going to hit. And I don't really have a problem with that. We've overpaid for overpriced veterans for a long time, and Jaromir Jagr is not available. Okay, so you know we have to make do with what we've got. In terms of Gudas, obviously with the toughness that we need on this team and what we needed on defense, from a hockey standpoint, I like it. Now, the dirty play. No one ever would have thought that when you think of the Florida Panthers, you do not think of Radko Gudas. Let's just put it that way, okay? That makes about as much sense as Tampa Bay having Tom Brady. It just doesn't match up, right? But it is what it is. So all we can do at this point, and I know there's a lot of different opinions on this. I know my friend Jeff on Twitter basically is not happy about it in terms of the dirty play. He doesn't like Gudas, and there's a part of me that agrees with that. But the other part of it is that, well, he's on our team now. So take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I want to win. I want to win. I want to be in a damn playoff series and win a few playoff series and see where we can go. And if Gudas helps us do that, then so be it. Now, that doesn't mean I want him to play dirty. What I want is I want to see a clean game. He's perfectly capable of playing a good, strong, clean game without knocking people in the head. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. Obviously, I'm sure the first time he goes and does something really stupid, there's going to be a portion of the fan base that's going to kind of turn on him. I might be one of that portion, you know what I mean? Not in the dirty play. Obviously, Gudas is one of those guys where when you're playing against him, you hate him, and we've been playing against him. So he's on the team now. And I expect, I don't know where he's going to slide. I don't think anybody knows. There's just too much going on. It's just absolutely, though, imperative that we keep Mackenzie Weegar. That's the most important thing right now with free agency. I believe Dadonov will probably stay. Probably going to see Hoffman walk, as much as that sucks. And you got to re-sign Weegar. And if we can re-sign Dadonov, Weegar, with the guys that we already got, you know, yesterday and through the trades, I think we're kind of going to be done. You know, we added to the center depth. I don't know that we're really going to have money left for Holla. I liked him. I don't know why we didn't make him a priority, unless coach has, you know, got something against him, or Zito doesn't like how he plays. But he plays hard, he plays fast. So I don't know. Both of those guys, Walmark and Holla, I'd be shocked if we end up not having either one of those guys. It's not good asset management, considering we got rid of Trocheck for that. But other than that, you know, I don't expect us, obviously, to make any big moves. And Zito was kind of laughing about it and say, yeah, we're tied to so many names that we would need a $200 million salary cap to sign everybody that we're rumored to be in on. So don't expect too much there. Just re-sign the guys that we've got to get. And, you know, the other part to that is a lot of these kids, you know, then we end up, you know, we've got our own kids coming up. You're talking about Tippett, you know, maybe having to fill up a top 6 slot this year if we lose Hoffman. So we're going to have a lot of competition is what I'm trying to say. It's going to be a lot of young, inexperienced, or just with a little bit experienced players in camp. And you're probably going to have 4 or 5 kids fighting for what might be 2 jobs, maybe 3. And so I think that's going to be good for the competition. And, you know, the AHL, our minor league system, we've kind of complained about that for a long time. And so the cupboard is kind of bare, so we're kind of picking off some of these players, some other teams that maybe are buried on the depth chart or need a new start and they're young and have, you know, they've got some upside and they're on cheap contracts. And that's what we need right now. You can't pay your goalie $10 million and have hopes of, you know, Barkov, Huberdeau, Dadonov. You can't have those kinds of guys, and Weegar's not going to be that cheap either. You've got to have some young, cheap talent mixed in there that hopefully, you know, you cross your fingers that can develop into a Jonathan Marshall. So, and this time you keep them. And now I'm also thinking, oh, some of these signings, somewhere in there, don't be surprised if one of these signings is sort of kind of specifically to be a sacrificial lamb to Seattle. That's another thing I actually hadn't seen anybody talk about, so I'm thinking about it right now. We got 1 and 2 year contracts with some of these guys. That might be something that we're looking at in terms of having some young talent there, because we're going to lose somebody to Seattle, and I don't think they're taking Bob, and so most likely we're probably going to lose one of our young forwards. So, all right, that's enough for today. Like I said, I'm going to put here a couple of minutes worth of fun. I put the question out on Twitter, just wanting to know everybody's thoughts on the draft. A few people replied, and a couple people replied with some videos. I bear no responsibility for what they say, or if I changed what they said or anything like that. It's not my fault. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
The Panthers draft, I really don't have any thoughts, ideas, anything. I didn't watch 1 second of it. At this point, I don't really care. When it's time for hockey to start up again, I'll be there watching and hoping for the best. All I know is they drafted another Finn, and let's hope he has some character and just doesn't pass the puck around. And we all see how talented he is. But like I said, at this point, I don't really care. Just waiting for hockey to start, whether it's next year or the year after, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Watch.
We gotta finish fuck. And that's what matters. Finn. We gotta finish fuck. And that's what matters. Finn. We gotta finish fuck.